been flying high at the Big Ten tournament.
Lane drives all the way under. Lays the ball off in the corner. Thrown on the way by Bradford. Is good! Illinois wins! Illinois wins!
After lassoing Indiana in the last seconds, yesterday the Fighting Illini parted company with Penn State to advance to the Big Ten championship game. The Michigan State Spartans are determined to tear down the nets again and show their mettle as the conference's best. But Team Cleves seeks another trip to the Final Four, and the Spartans' journey begins today with a Big Ten title and #1 seed on the line. Selection Sunday continues with the Big Ten championship game presented by NASDAQ. Illinois and Michigan State in the final. The Illini with a last-second win over Indiana, then a pounding of Penn State to make it here. Michigan State with wins against Iowa and Wisconsin. Jim Nance along with Mr. College Basketball, Billy Packer from Chicago, and a rematch of last year's final in the Big Ten championship game, but all kinds of differences from a year ago, Billy.
No question about it. We were all shocked that Illinois got here. Not now. I really think this Illinois club belongs as one of the premier teams in the nation, not only in the Big Ten.
One reason why the Illini so much improved is a freshman, Brian Cook. He's been starring here in the Big Ten tournament.
Well, since they moved him into the starting lineup, they're 12-2. The kid has great hands. He has a lot of ability on the inside and gives them that low post scoring they've needed.
Morris Peterson for Michigan State, named in one poll the MVP of the league this year.
Well, he goes from sixth man and first team all-conference to maybe the player of the year, and certainly one of the premier forwards in all of college basketball.
All right, Billy, as far as the matchup goes, the X's and O's, we talked to the coaches, Tom Izzo and Lon Kruger, and they broke down the title game for us.
I think we're going to have to somehow contain their inside people. I think we will defend their perimeter guys, even though Bradford and Williams are very difficult to defend. I think we got a chance to do a decent job there. It's the depth we lack right now because of Anaganya being out that I'm concerned with the 5 or 6 guys that are going to rotate inside.
You got to try to rebound and keep them from getting theirs on their offensive boards. You got to try to get back and keep them from getting transition opportunities, and you got to really compete and be physical and tough in trying to execute your stuff on the half court.
The right to claim supremacy in the Big Ten is on the line with Illinois, Michigan State next.
CBS Sports coverage of the road to the Final Four is sponsored by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. NASDAQ, the stock market for a digital world. And by Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light.
How do you want to fly? That's the question Delta's been asking. Because different people want different things. Every passenger has a request. What would yours be?
Sherry Stringfield and Jason Robards in a story about rediscovering the love between a father and daughter.
You're the child I see myself in most.
Going Home, CBS tonight.
For Jag, the address is CBS.
My brother and I have different styles.
So when we decided to go in on a pre-owned truck for school and work,
it wasn't easy to decide what pre-owned car to get.
Where to go was easy.
A place we could trust.
Our local Ford store. Their pre-owned vehicles are Ford quality certified.
So they passed a 100-point inspection by Ford qualified technicians.
We may be different, but with a great deal from our local Ford store,
we both got what we wanted.
Ford quality certified. The best way to buy a pre-owned vehicle. Visit your local Ford store today.
Sir, may I take your car? I need your keys so I can drive your car.
He was all wrong for you. I think I was a freak.
The
a team to watch. Weekends on CBS 2 Chicago.
Illinois and Michigan State for the Big Ten championship. Lon Kruger's 4th year. He's had 3 20-win seasons at Illinois, and the other season a year ago took him all the way to this title game with a sub-500 record. He starts McClain, Cook, and Lucas Johnson, all underclassmen, as well as the backcourt with Corey Bradford and freshman Frank Williams. Tom Izzo, 3 straight 20-win seasons at Michigan State, and believe it or not, that's the first time in school history that's happened. Peterson, Hudson, Granger. We're talking about a very experienced team that went all the way to the Final Four last year. Cleaves and Bell, the starting backcourt, made it all the way to the Duke game last year at Tropicana Field in the national semifinals. Michigan State has trailed for only 30 seconds in this tournament. Games against Iowa and Wisconsin. Biggest deficit, 1 point.
Jim, if I look at these 2 teams and you say, well, what is the major difference? The thing that jumps out first to me is the fact that Illinois has a rebound advantage over their opponents of 0. They're exactly even. Michigan State, the best rebounding team in the United States, 13 more rebounds than their opponents. And when they played head-to-head, in which Michigan State won this year, they out-rebounded Illinois. Can you believe this? 41-16. So if there's going to be a change for Illinois, it is that they've got to get up on the glass.
That game at East Lansing between these two, a 91-66 final. And it was over by halftime with Michigan State leading by 19. So a quick start in that one. And really, it's been the same story at the Big Ten tournament. Quick starts for the Spartans.
I really like Tom Izzo when he said, we think that we can guard their guards. We're worried about their interior game. There are some really neat matchups here.
Granger just inside the arc for an opening 2.
And he always extends the defense as being that big man that can step out.
McClain, who didn't score in the first matchup, is on the board already. Did not score a single point in the first matchup.
Jim, that was a premeditated move. When you come out in basketball and say, I'm taking my man and taking him right to the hole, McClain just had this in his mind before this game ever started. Normally you say, take what the defense will give you. He just took it to the defense there.
He backed in Morris Peterson and drew the foul on him.
That's interesting. And we're talking about a guy that really never looks to score first. He's on Cleaves, so you've got no advantage for Cleaves in this case in regard to strength and power. There's a switch. Granger outside. Cleaves got a big man there to get the ball back to Cleaves and not let him switch back.
Double up on Hudson and fouled. Pushed from behind by Cook.
Now, something I'm seeing very early in this ball game. There are some bad mismatches if Illinois is going to switch as frequently as they've shown so far. There you had Johnson on Cleaves, and you can rotate the ball back out, get it to Cleaves, and let him go 1-and-1.
Granger left open again. Bradford picks up the loose ball.
Both Illinois guards, terrific rebounders, Bradford and Williams.
An Illinois team that's 21-8 on the year, but closed the season 12-2, all against Big Ten competition.
Well, this is about as healthy as Illinois has been all year. The only thing held them back were the constant injuries.
Johnson misfiring on a 3. Michigan State quickly now on the break. Peterson lost the handle. And Illinois strips it away. Williams, freshman guns, 3-pointer, way short, close. Lucas Johnson saves it. Way out to Bradford, good play.
Good recovery by Bell, too, realizing that Bradford has no limit to his range, so he got out there quickly.
Bradford, 3-pointer.
Illinois not going inside early in this game. I think they're making a mistake. That'll let Cook touch it a little bit.
Cleaves pull up. Short, McClain pulls it away.
Both teams playing at a pace. Taking away what they'd like to do best.
Inside McClain, thought about it too long.
This is not Illinois basketball in this particular game, and you can see Michigan State's Tom Izzo saying the same thing. Slow this game down a little bit. Get your bearings. People who say this game doesn't mean anything, you can tell it means one thing. All these kids are competitors. They're wanting to beat that opponent.
Yeah, there's a lot of intensity. Yes, you can see it. Right here's one play by Lucas Johnson. Bumped by Bell outside. situation.
Yeah, there is no love lost between these teams. I mean, not only great competitors in the Big Ten, but a lot of these kids come from the same areas. And so they know each other extremely well.
Jason Richardson checks in from Michigan State.
Here's something interesting, too, Jim. When you start talking about common opponents, here's one of those that throw out the window. They both played at Michigan. Michigan State won by 51, and Illinois lost by 4. So, you know, those guys sit around and say, well, they played this team, and that's not but a 55-point difference there. Zone defense by Michigan State.
That 51-point win by Michigan State 8 days ago, inflicting the first worst loss, I should say, ever on the Wolverines, 114-63.
Here's the zone. Look for Bradford to try to get out beyond it and get a pass for the jump shot. Not there. Ball was touched. Nice piece of refereeing there. The ball was touched.
Shot clock, though. Look at this.
Down to 6.
Williams gets it back, and finally Michigan State, this helter-skelter pace at the start.
Well, I think that Illinois would be smart to go down to Cook a time or two, let him touch it, get some feel for the half-court offense. Richardson in the game now, another athlete that can go and sky. He's got McLean on him. Constant switching. You notice there, Illinois switches on every screen.
Leaves wants to go one-on-one. Put it up wildly.
Taylor, he slips back to low when he does McLean.
Johnson to Cook, and Cook draws the foul. Now, McLean, so versatile. He can play so many positions for you.
Well, you know, when you break him down as a player, Jim, can he shoot the ball well? The answer is no. Is he a great dribbler? The answer is no. Is he a great leaper? The answer is no. Does he have the right size for his position? The answer is no. You know the only thing he knows how to do? Help you win basketball games. And so there's a place for that kind of guy on any team in the country.
Whistle on Hudson, his first. 2 for Cook.
What may happen in this game, but because we see no rhyme or reason to how the teams are playing early on, may be the benches. Illinois comes off with some players that can be instant offense and defense. Yesterday we saw Krapalia, who was the MVP of the game as far as how we saw it. He isn't in there yet. I'm anxious to see when Lon Kruger will go to this bench.
Iowa State with an explosive start on Oklahoma, doubling them up in the first half. Peterson, 3 is short, front of the rim. There's McLean again.
Oh, and a double dribble the referee never saw. He grabbed the ball and then put it back down again.
Illinois showed its depth yesterday. 11 different players scored in the win against Penn State. McLean, not a wide shot that time.
I think that it'd be smart for McLean to sit down a little bit. He's sky high for this game. An Illinois product who wants to do it today.
So what's on for today?
Boss wants you, me, and Charlie to take the new Silverado and move them bales.
Is that Charlie?
Chevy Silverado has the most powerful V8 of any 4x4 pickup.
Then we gotta water the herd.
300 horses make it more powerful.
If there's any daylight left, we'll take Norm up to see the ladies.
More powerful than Ford and Dodge. That's why it's the truck. Silverado from Chevy.
Well, guess that's enough for today.
In the heart of India, amid an age-old culture, one company has pioneered a new way of doing business, using cutting-edge processes and communications. Infosys designs and builds software solutions for the world, working 24 hours a day, delivering overnight to clients around the globe. Infosys is growing an average of 60% a year. Where do you learn about aggressive, innovative companies? Exactly. NASDAQ. Stock market for the digital world.
Is that what I think it is? But it's just a...
Try it. Incredible. Wireless internet right here in my hand. Shop, trade stocks, check scores, all on Sprint PCS. And the calls?
Clear digital calls. Nothing else has changed.
Do you think they're ready?
Some are. Others will follow.
Experience the power of the Sprint PCS wireless web.
There's a place in America where the sun shines a little brighter in the month of March, where the townfolk reminisce of peach baskets and parquet, where the fruits of hard labor are served up with a smile.
Freshly baked finger rolls.
And folks who visit are always invited to stay as long as they can. Welcome to Bracketville.
The man convicted of the Oklahoma City bombing and the bodyguard who survived the crash that killed Princess Diana. Tonight on 60 Minutes.
Well, Jimmy, this clock's important in this game, but that clock's important to college basketball.
And that's all we have until the exclusive first announcement of the NCAA tournament field. And let me ask you, is Michigan State...
Wait. I thought you made the announcement. I mean, you are so fired up. You are so wired today.
My favorite day. What can I say?
I mean, you know, normally the fans of the country, when you say, you know, here are the #1 seeds, the #2, I mean, they just assume that's
I've
done.
lost my touch.
No, you haven't lost your touch. I mean,
well, let me ask you, is Michigan State playing for a #1 seed? If it loses here,
I think they are a #1 seed, whether they
win or lose.
not. Okay. But these kids are playing. That's totally immature. You can just tell the way they're playing. I love Nolan Richardson's attitude. Let's forget about the NCAA tournament. We're playing for today. And I think all of what we're seeing out right here is these teams are not playing very well because they are such great competitors. It's a sloppy game so far.
Traveling against Hudson. Now, I will say this. There are those out there who believe it's so crowded at the top right now, factoring in the likes of Temple. Maybe Cincinnati's chance is still alive. You can see in the regular season, Michigan State shared it as far as conference regular season with Ohio State. Ohio State lost its first-round game here to Penn State. There are those who believe that maybe Michigan State is vulnerable, and I would think that Tom Izzo has stressed that point a little bit to his team as well. That if it loses here, who knows? Could maybe cost them a 1. I agree with you, Bill. I don't think so.
Nice decision by Mateen Cleaves. Now, he had an open jump shot, but he really has good decision processes on the floor. Instead of taking a jumper, he got it to a better person, gets it back, and makes a nice play for an easy shot.
It's the first field goal in the game by either side in over 4.5 minutes.
McClain really wanted to be down in the low post. There's the answer for Illinois. Let Cook touch the ball inside. A lot of good things are going to happen after that. He has such excellent hands, even though he gives up some power. He can play in that low post. A double team.
Yep, they whip it around to the open man. It's Bell. 2-point shot. Spins out. He chases it down, though. Gives it up. Hudson for the 2.
Charlie Bell, solid basketball player who really didn't show up much yesterday, but he's the kind of guy who's had some 20-point games this year, can come up big, always gives you good defense. He's on Bradford now.
Bradford with a 3. Just a couple now. He's made one in every college game he's played in. Bell up ahead to the trailers. Peterson.
Again, Cleaves realizing that Bell can really get up in the air and has the good hands. Normally that would not be a good pass to the typical college basketball player, but he knows what Bell's capable of. And Peterson, with that great speed, just was able to outlet McClain.
Bradford over Bell for 2. And tie it at 8.
Boy, I love these matchups in the backcourt. Bradford and Cleaves, Bell and Williams.
You made the statement earlier today that Cleaves is the best point guard in college basketball.
I really think that he is when you take everything in consideration. Defense, offense, leadership, ability to pass, break down the defense.
Don't miss a minute of the NCAA tournament brackets presented by Oldsmobile. They'll be updated live during today's selection show. For the latest coverage online, click on March Mayhem at cbs.sportsline.com or America Online. The keyword is CBS Sportsline. Some changes in the Illinois lineup. Paulier has come in. There he is, such a key yesterday. Number 33 also brought in Marcus Griffin. Number 52 and number 32, Cleotis Brown. 3 subs for Illinois.
And Illinois does not fall off when these 3 guys come in. As a matter of fact, I think for this kind of game, they have a big advantage over Michigan State. Remember last year when Antonio Smith, Michigan State really was the factor with a great guy down in the paint. They don't have that this year, and that's a big difference between their club.
Saw the fresh sub for Michigan State, Adam Ballinger, commit a foul in his first minute of action.
say Ballinger is not a Smith.
Brown.
Paulier up on the boards again, but he pushes over the back.
Trepalier, just a sophomore. Really one of the key reasons why a year ago an undermanned Illinois team was somehow able to win 3 games as the 11th seed in the Big Ten all the way to the final. They advanced only to really run out of gas in the second half to lose the championship 67-50 to Michigan State.
Boy, I'll tell you, Illinois getting away with murder on their switches. That time they had 2 men on Peterson, nobody on Hudson.
Hudson, Griffin on him. Cleves left open. Jumper, too strong. Follow-up try was in and out by Richardson.
That's Richardson, and we saw him go up in the Connecticut game we had earlier this year on CBS. There's no limit to how high he can go. There he is again.
Bradford struggling from the perimeter today. Away from the ball.
There's a nice job by Frankie Williams getting out on Peterson. You notice when Peterson comes down court, he sets up beyond the three-point line on the wings every time. Illinois is not giving him that shot.
The whistle was on Griffin. Timeout on the floor.
I'm serious. Whenever guys find out I have a cat, they freak.
You kidding me? I love cats.
Of course, my cat's not like other cats.
Well, sure he isn't.
You get so jealous if anyone drinks my Bud Light. Oh, anyway, I'll go get changed.
You're right. Stupid cats.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down.
Oh, look at you, too.
Make it a Bud Light.
See the USA in your Chevrolet. America's the greatest land of all.
Introducing Chevy Impala. Designed, engineered, and built to be the most carefree car on the road.
See the USA.
Let's go for a drive. Impala. We'll be there.
Look out. There's a new faucet in town. Introducing the new pull-out spray from Delta with a radical new design, combining beauty, practicality, and just a touch of attitude. Delta, the faucet.
There's always a combination of taking a knowledge and applying it. For example, I know who the shooter is. I know what he does, what he thinks, under stress, how he'll act, what's his favorite thing to do, what's his least favorite thing to do. And I got most of my rebounds before he took the shot.
Knowledge is the edge. Call your advisor or Invesco about the Growth and Income Fund. You should know what Invesco knows.
Be the first to know. Is your team in and where will it go? For the breaking news, the NCAA Basketball Championship Selection Show on CBS.
Well, the countdown to March Madness, 2.5 hours plus. This young man may be already into it. Let's talk about bubble teams, Billy. This is a list that you've compiled. Fresno State, you don't think they're in, huh? They're not assured?
I don't know. I'd like to see Jerry Tarkanian get that club in. They beat Tulsa 3 times this year. Now they won their conference championship, but don't have the automatic berth. How about Notre Dame sitting there, Jim, on that bubble path? Boy, they've had some quality wins, but that Providence and the BC losses really hurt them, don't you think?
There's some real quality wins during the season, but I'm feeling they might be the team that's on the outside looking in.
There's the 2-3 zone matching up that we saw Illinois use yesterday. Griffin in the middle, big wingspan, trying to patrol that paint area. Be a good guy to attack from behind, but Granger doesn't see the opening. I don't think Griffin realizes what's behind him.
Bell. Richardson follows up for the slam.
Richardson is amazing. Had 12 rebounds against Minnesota, big games against North Carolina. And those 14 points and 7 rebounds against Connecticut, which was really the coming out. He will be a major star in the Big Ten.
Brown, short jumper, no. Ballinger to the flat-footed rebound.
Illinois not taking advantage of this. Here they do it for the first time. Take advantage of the subs.
Sean Harrington bounces it over to Brown for 2. Tough pass. He got it there. Sean Harrington just checking in with the assist.
Illinois has the superior bench. And, you know, in a tournament where you play 3 days in a row, that has to help.
Mike Chappelle has come in for the Spartans, number 20. Working the baseline, now comes over to touch it for the first time.
But all of Michigan State's bench is on the perimeter. Illinois has a bench both ways. They can come in the backcourt with the likes of a Harrington and Brown, and they can come inside as well.
5 on the shot clock. Ranger knows it, fires it, gets it. That's a 3.
Huge basket. You know that Ranger is not going to put the ball on the floor and dribble to the basket. So as a defender, he should always be out there in his face.
Tripolya sets the pick. Williams takes advantage. Unable to finish though. Brown stuffed by Ballinger. They say got a piece of the arm. Or are they going to call it on Richardson?
Brown
on Richardson.
Brown, a starter last year, now coming off the bench, but can be an explosive scorer.
Monday on CBS, don't miss the show that Entertainment Weekly calls sitcom royalty. Kevin James, Leah Remini, and Jerry Stiller, King of Queens, Monday on CBS. Leotis Brown, a senior, really the only senior seeing any action for this Illini team.
Victor Chukadebe is a fellow that you would have thought when this season started would be seeing action, but he has had all kinds of physical problems, and so that's taken away his opportunity to contribute.
The point is, with that depth that you mentioned, you've got virtually everybody coming back. It gets significant minutes except for this man.
Well, Corey Bradford at 32 minutes a game is playing more than anybody else on this team, but then it drops off. The guys playing basically around 20 minutes a game. He and Frank Williams, the only ones over 30.
Brown bangs home 2. 1-point lead for the Spartans.
Game staying tight as it did last year for a while until the Michigan State just blew it open before the half. There's the switches that Michigan State so far not taking advantage of.
Ranger tipped out, back to him. Bell retrieves it. Nice as it is. Hudson. Robert from behind. Griffin hit with his second.
2 fouls, playing in the zone defense on the inside. Not getting the production out of Griffin they need right here.
Lon Kruger in his 4 years at Illinois, 1-10 when facing a top 10 ranked team. The highest ranked team he has defeated, Minnesota, back in 1997 when it was 7th ranked. A win today would be the highest ranked team his Fighting Illini have defeated in his 4 years. Michigan State 4 in one poll, 5 in the other.
Well, the highest ranked team I remember him ever beaten was Connecticut in the NCAA tournament when he was at Florida, huh?
You know, I was talking to him on Friday about that, the highest ranked team, and he reminded me when he was at Kansas State, he beat Missouri when Missouri was ranked #1.
Nice piece of information, James. I thought I was all over it with the Florida situation.
Just happened to discuss it with the coach. But that was the one you're alluding to was down in Miami in the East Regional, and Florida went on to the Final Four that year in Charlotte, directed by Lon Kruger.
And a man who had a pretty good time in Florida, in Charlotte, North Carolina, had a pretty good day-to-day for Arkansas, didn't he?
Roman Richardson won the championship there. Nice piece of coaching by Nolan to take his young team to the tournament. Bradford.
I love the way Bradford turns that inner foot in to square him up on the basket, whether he comes off the screen, right or left. Always square to the basket.
Chappelle got an open 3.
Never has had the touch here.
Saved by Tripolya. Bradford doesn't have the numbers. He waits. Kicks it to the corner. Brown with the 3. That rebound Granger.
Those were good decisions by Bradford. Knew he had men behind him. Kept using his crossover dribble. How about that, what he just said? He said to Brown, good shot. Showing leadership.
He's only a sophomore, Corey Bradford.
And you know what? Here comes that teammate of his that he just encouraged with a steal and a dunk.
You're right, Billy. You know, you pump up a teammate who has to makes a play.
Absolutely. Nice job.
Illinois in front by 1. 8 minutes to go in the half.
I'm telling you right now, if Michigan State's a 1, Jim, this Illinois team is one of those guys say, give me a dark horse, huh?
Turnover. Where would you seed Illinois in the brackets? Maybe as high as a 3 if they win today. Probably in that 3, 4, 5 range. Is those teams down by 1?
Hi.
Oh, yeah, hi.
You seem a little slow there.
Well, I was stunned by your beauty. Buy you a Miller Lite, it tastes great.
Sure, but I like it because it's less filling.
Huh? Well, opposites attract. That's a good one. You want to go someplace in town?
Yeah.
Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Consider yourself fired.
Net 1, pearl 2.
Bingo! Mr. Barkley wins again.
These days, it's never too early to think about retirement. Maybe that's why so many people go to Schwab.com. In a few steps, you can open a Roth, a traditional IRA, or a rollover, invest in a range of funds, and plan for the future. Because retirement,
You got the upper.
comes sooner than you think.
Meet Carlos Sandoval, veteran Navy SEAL, trained to go through anything, equipped to survive it. Introducing the Chevy S10 Survival Pack. CD, automatic, air, aluminum wheels. Over $1,300 in savings and $1,250 cash back. You might think that could weaken a Navy SEAL. Fat chance. The Chevy S10 Survival Pack. Like a rock.
So I got off the elevator and said, what is this, the 7th inning stretch? Uh-oh. American Express.
Lovely.
Let's do the whole country. I'm a little light on the lingo.
Get a full gainer down the front with me.
All right.
We've got Cornish pasties, bangers and mash, public sweet, and lovely toad meal.
That was a wicked googly. So I took the butchers up the apples and pears and said, what is this, the tea interval?
All over the world, you can do more with the American Express card.
The shooting from three-point land is pretty atrocious at this point. 1 of 14 combined. Illinois 0 for 7.
Jim, there's a reason for that. Neither team has developed an inside the paint game yet. And a lot of times when you try to attack from the perimeter first, before you establish something inside, you start taking shots that you really don't want. Now, Brown did miss the wide open jumper, but a lot of these have been kind of like desperation, or maybe quick jumpers. They'll settle down. Plus, there's some pretty good perimeter defense being played. There's Cook stepping out. Again, the kind of shot I'm talking about. He can get a better shot early in the clock than that one.
Bradford's had some good looks. He's the one player that's shot without stress, but he's 0 for 3 from out there.
And one of the things that happens when you take shots before your teammates anticipate you're going to take them, you're never having your teammates in position to rebound. So it hurts you both ways.
And another turnover. At the conclusion of this game, we will select the Chevrolet most valuable player of the game for each team. Chevrolet will make a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund, a tradition for over a quarter of a century.
Bradford got hit and looked like right in the head or the eye. Time's been called. I don't think that there's
Look on the left side here.
He
got
the
popped
elbow.
with an elbow.
He sure got popped right there by Hudson.
Unintentional.
Yep. It's going down. I think he's got a little bit of work to be done. He's going down again. They better help him a little bit. It's a tough break for Illinois. The teammates very nervously looking at him here. You'll see the elbow come right up here. And
I've got him right on the bridge of the nose.
Yeah. Hudson with the elbow. He goes straight down. A little woozy right here. You can hear a pin drop in this place, Jim. Boy, and I'll tell you, the factor of injuries, trying to work your way to a championship. I thought, Jim, you pointed out you had heard earlier today that interview with Bob Huggins in terms of the quality of his team and Kenyon Martin in that situation, and how a quality kid that Kenyon was in regard to his comments and the way he came back after his injury to go out and support his team at that ball game. Be interesting to see what the committee does with some of these injuries.
Bob Huggins made it pretty clear he feels his team still deserving of a #1 seed even without Kenyon Martin.
Well, I think there's two questions. They deserve the seed because of how well they play. The question is, are they one of the top 4 teams in the country without him? And the answer to that is, I don't think so.
You just don't know, though. It's not fair to say over one game, you know. I mean, so
sometimes life's not fair.
Take a team that's 28-3 with talent like Pete Michael and Jermaine Tate, Kenny Satterfield.
Oh, I'm not. Hey, nobody's looking forward to playing Cincinnati.
The thing Huggins pointed out, Kenyon was in foul trouble a lot this year. He said we played a lot of quality time this year without him.
Well, I don't want anybody to start telling me that he didn't mean much to that team if they ever saw him play that game in Chicago against the Bulls.
Ranger with a 3. Say one thing that helped Cincinnati's case, though, is that, again, the team that beat them went on to win the conference tournament. St. Louis. It's not like they lost to a team that was waxed the next day. They played a team that.
Well, plus the emotion for the kids on the floor of Cincinnati that day, wondering about his situation. Nothing anyway from St. Louis's win. Here we have rebounding advantages again. Michigan State.
Bell from the side, yes. And Michigan State with a little flurry here. 5 unanswered out of the break.
Boy, Cleves makes great decisions on the break.
Illinois calls a timeout. Illini dazed. Bradford goes out, and Illinois is down
4. Being a cashier, I know that people like her have other places they'd rather be, and other places to spend their money. But at least we guarantee she won't have to spend it twice.
At Good Wrench, our lifetime guarantee means you'll never pay twice for any covered repair.
Bet she didn't think she'd be smiling today.
GM Good Wrench Service Plus. It's for life.
They're calling you. The places you want to be. The things you want to do. But you're not going to get there until you finish this stuff. That's why there's True Value. We get you in and out fast with just what you need for the job. Because the sooner you get done, the sooner you can get back to this thing called your life. True Value. Health is just around the corner.
Introducing the biggest, boldest player in the Colonel's sandwich lineup. My spicy triple crunch zinger. Not 1, not 2, but 3 big strips of white meat chicken, plus the Colonel's spicy zinger sauce. Try one today for just $1.99. Booyah!
Look! Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Ellie's renting again. And Enterprise picked her up again. She said Enterprise picks her up free. Free? Free. Now that makes renting easy.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
People, you can come out now. Look, I've got the wireless internet right here in my hand. No wires, no tricks, news, sports, shop, all online. And crystal clear calls, all right here. On Sprint PCS. That's right. Come on out. Welcome back to the world.
Experience the power of the Sprint PCS wireless web.
Well, the road to the Final Four all gets started today here on CBS.
This looks like a space shot or something there. Oh, they took it away from me. You know, it seems like we...
What are you talking about, Central Connecticut State?
No, we're inside. There's Central Connecticut State in.
You know, these are teams' first time in the tournament. Yeah. Southeast Missouri State. Do you see a Cinderella in that bunch right there
wow,
for the tournament?
I'll tell you what, I think there's too much depth in the conferences like the SEC and the Big Ten for those teams to be competitive against them. Hey, doesn't this look like a spaceship or something like that? They have a clock up in here. It looks like we're going to the moon or something.
Looks like an eye drop.
Yeah, that's weird.
One team that was not on that list was Wright State.
Yeah, how about...
Which, believe it or not, may have pulled off the biggest upset of the 90s in college basketball regular season play, beating Michigan State this year.
That, to me, is almost close, but not close, to Chaminade beating Virginia. Remember that?
That was in the 80s. That would have been the upset of the 80s.
Okay.
Right? That was like 83. I mean, that was Sampson was there.
Sampson was like a sophomore, yeah. So, I remember getting that score because they played in Hawaii, getting that score, and I said, no, that's got to be, you know,
got to be a misprint.
Yeah, sure.
The Silver Swords, Chaminade.
Right.
But think of a bigger one well, it was just barely in the 90s. It was December 30th, 1999. Hudson comes up short. Cook has the rebound. Wright State ends up with a sub-500 record effect this year, but beat Michigan State, a likely #1 seed in the tournament. How do you figure? Cleats wasn't there. That was one thing. McClain swatted away. Cleared by Peterson.
McClain does not have the size to go down inside and make turnaround jump shots. Johnson tries to draw the charge. No call.
Leeds gives it a bell shot.
Williams with a block.
Back out to Peterson. Still a real scrappy game. Hudson, McClain comes over. And will they call it on him?
Well, McClain is really fired up today. But he has to start using his head a little bit.
Called on McClain his first all-time Big Ten titles. Now, this is regular season titles we're talking about. Billy? Purdue, that might surprise you.
Yes, it does. Purdue, of course, their history goes back a long way. You know somebody that hasn't won any of them? Team right here in this town, Northwestern. Never been in the NCAA. I think next year in the play-in game, they ought to let Northwestern play in as one of the teams. They hosted one, but never got the play-in.
They hosted the very first Final Four, 1939. You would have thought that Bob Dekas could have maybe switched over from baseball to basketball and helped out their cause, our producer. They led the Big Ten in RBIs. Now, Hudson at the line. Why can't, if Duke and Stanford can win, why can't Northwestern?
Got me.
Should be able to happen, right? Don't you think?
Well, they came close to going after Tommy Amaker. He proved he could go from Duke to Seton Hall to win. Boy, Cook setting up nicely inside there, battling with Hudson. Not looking for it.
Brown spins out. Rapolia battling. Ball free and taken away by Richardson. David Thomas has come in also for Michigan State.
How about that crossover dribble?
Cleaves puts it up. Rapolia.
I tell you, when Rapolia comes into the ball game, it balances some of that rebounding edge that Michigan State normally has. Thomas on a reach.
Beginning Tuesday, April 4th, CBS presents an extraordinary 8-night television event. Falcone followed the FBI's best agent as he goes undercover inside the family. Begins Tuesday, April the 4th.
Jim, is a little check on Corey. I don't see him back out on the floor yet.
Yeah, he's not on the bench.
Nope.
He's probably X-raying.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, lays it in for two.
He's going to get a lot of minutes in this game because he really creates a presence inside. Nice hedge move by Cook. Williams doesn't switch over.
Richardson and one.
Now, Richardson's given up some inches there. But believe me, forget about how they list him in height. He plays like a 6'10" guy.
As the season's gone on, has he progressed at the level that you thought he would as far as working into the system, contributing to the base team?
No, but I think that the injury that he suffered probably set him back just at the time he was ready to turn the corner. He had the chest problem, and just when he was ready to make his move, he had to sit.
Chevy Blazer. A little security in an insecure world. blazer, like a rock.
It's incredible. The most advanced shave is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Mach 3. Easy error-free loading, easy open flow rinsing, and 3 blades that shave progressively closer in 1 easy stroke. Mach 3. The closest shave in fewer strokes with less irritation. It's the easiest way to the closest shave. Mach 3 from Gillette.
In 1984, 2 computer scientists envisioned the impossible, a seamless network of computer networks. They invented the router, and Cisco Systems was born. Today, virtually all internet traffic travels across Cisco equipment, now directing millions of messages a day. And Cisco will be there as web users soar to over 300 million by the year 2002. Where do you learn about companies so integrated into the future? Exactly. NASDAQ. Stock market for the digital world.
I see a little silhouette of a can.
Mountain Dew, time to do the slam dunk go. Citrus tasting, quenching, very, very exciting me. Fantastico, 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 Figaro. Here we go.
Jim, when you see a screening situation right here, and you always say screen your man. I don't mean to screen your own man, but here's what Cleves does. He cuts through here, and Capalier understands it as he gets the ball and just wheels to go inside. Granger just puts a hand out, but not in time. Watch what Cleves does. He goes in and screens his man on his own team. The object is to screen the guy on the other team.
Illinois down 6.
Oh, boy. You can't let Williams get inside. He just took Cleves one-on-one that time. No help.
Been a 9-4 advantage, though, for Michigan State since Bradford went out. Beautiful pass. And one again.
Wow, did Granger thread it that time? And the tremendous hands on the inside. This is some pass. Sits right down, bounces it through. Peterson with the ability to go ahead, take it across the lane. We saw yesterday, remember on that cool curl move that Peterson stopped, didn't get his jumper, continued right on through. He really has a good sense of moving without the ball.
Peterson will graduate in May in Family Community Services. His last scholastic obligation is just fulfilling an internship at Parkwood YMCA in Lansing.
He has played more games at Michigan State in basketball than any other player.
Near steal by Richardson.
Richardson's enjoying playing in this game. There's the help on Williams, so he didn't have the open look.
Harrington way out there. Cook rebound, tough pass.
Yeah, no chance for Brown to be able to catch that one.
Illinois now 0 for 9 from 3. Coming up on Pennzoil at the half, Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg live from the NCAA Hall of Champions in Indianapolis. You can caught up on all the scores and highlights and the latest information here on Selection Sunday.
And I don't think we've seen Michigan State totally dominate the glass. And that's kept this game close, but they've got a 7-point working margin right now.
Cook clears for Illinois. Illinois has led at halftime of its last 12 games. The last team to lead them at the half was Michigan State. Here's the steal. Richardson to Cleves, might come back to him. Well, look at a little tap pass.
Richardson couldn't get the space that he needed to elevate for the shot, and how about that smart move that he did, tapping it back to Cleves. And a 3-on-1 break.
Largest lead of the game for either side. 9-point advantage.
Last year when Michigan State beat Illinois, they scored 14 points off of turnovers in the championship game.
Just had 2 right there. Kapolia hacked on the outside.
Well, there's a case inexperience. If you're Richardson, you're going to make that steal. Two things you've got to do. First, move your feet to get closer to the offensive player. And second, if you're going to reach in, have your hands come from under the ball up as opposed to slapping down.
Second on Richardson. He'll go out, replaced by Bell. Ballinger also removed.
Some pretty solid minutes by Richardson for Tom Izzo's club.
1-1 for Krapalya. Said it earlier, Billy. Tom Izzo directing Michigan State this year to a third straight 20-win season. And what's remarkable, you would think with all the history, the championship with the Magic Johnson, Greg Keltzer team, etc. That's the first time in school history they've had 3 straight 21 seasons.
You know, Judd Heathcote's not going to appreciate you bringing that up. And Judd
Heathcote was a great coach.
He's the guy that trained Tom.
Yeah, he was.
I guarantee
Tom was an assistant for 12 years.
I guarantee in Indianapolis, Judd's going to come up, get right in your face, and say,
"Hope not."
Well,
he's one of my all-time favorites. But I'm not pinning it on Judd. This is in the history of this program for 100 years.
Well, I thought he coached that team for 100 years.
Oh, now he's going to be in your face. Coach Heathcote, though, winning the championship in '79 and mentored Tom Izzo, who's his assistant for 12.
Now, Jim, one of the things on that particular replay right there, did that ball have a chance to go in?
College basketball, you can sweep it after it's off the glass as long as it doesn't look like it's on the way down.
That's right. And you also can't get called for goaltending if the ball has no chance of going in. That one looked like it'd be short.
Leaves inside to Peterson.
Now, do you think those guys have ever played together? I mean, that was eye contact. Cleves knew exactly where Peterson was going to be. Beautiful play.
Just a minute to go in the half. Double-digit lead now for State.
Time to get the ball down inside some. McLean trying to do too much one-on-one.
6 on the shot clock.
A lot of one-on-one here. Not Illinois basketball game. Jim, for those people who saw yesterday, Mateen Cleves shoot his little floating shot that had no spin on it whatsoever. Here you see the pass that he's able to throw that way. And one of the things that's so great is a ball without a lot of spin on it is much easier to catch. So there you see the knuckleball going up. It's a perfect ball to catch. Great eye contact between the two. You see it right there. Look at how easy that ball is to catch. No spin whatsoever. Cleves has that down to a science.
All-time assist man in the Big Ten. Big Ten history. Had 20 last weekend against Michigan, setting the Michigan State and the Big Ten single game record. McLean hits the front end of a 1-and-1.
You know what I liked about that? He had 8 points, 20 assists. I mean, he's not a guy that worries about how his team is successful.
The 20 assists, just 2 off the all-time NCAA record, held by 3 players. Tony Furley of Charleston Southern, Avery Johnson of Southern, and Sherman Douglas of Syracuse one time had 22 assists in a game.
A little familiar with 2 of the 3.
5-second differential, shot clock to game clock.
And if you're Michigan State, you'd almost like to go ahead, make sure Illinois has no chance whatsoever. Take it right down as far as you can before you got to put the shot up.
Timeout.
Tom Izzo does this all the time. You know, he loves to set up a play. And remember yesterday the play that they used with a double roll.
Let's take a look at our NASDAQ Big Ten moment. The 1976 national championship game between Michigan and Indiana in Philadelphia. The only time 2 Big Ten teams have met in the title game. Michigan had a 6-point halftime lead, but in the second half, Kent Benson led the Hoosiers to the victory. Ricky Green and Steve Grody of Michigan falling to the Hoosiers.
Oh, Jim, that's the last time we have had an undefeated champion in college basketball. Certainly many can make the argument that that was the greatest team that's ever played in the college game, the 76 Indiana club. And you know what's interesting in that Final Four? 2 teams entered the Final Four undefeated that year.
Rutgers was the other.
They lost, dropped both games. Those are the days when you had the the consolation game in the Final Four.
Coach Tom Young had stars like Phil Sellers and Mike Dabney.
I won't go into the exact comments or the quotes from Tom Young, who's a great guy. But he had a very interesting comment when people asked about the Rutgers team at that Final Four press conference.
Eddie Jordan, James Jammin Bailey. Here's Cleaves off the glass for 2.
I think he shocked Illinois, who thought that they're going to use the clock a little more.
Illinois has time, though. 4 seconds. Williams stuck. He's got a big man on him. Ballinger.
Michigan State went zone on him.
Brown launches. A 3 at the buzzer. Their first of the day.
Can you believe that shot beyond the well-conceived defense of Michigan State? Some range.
They get a 3 at last, and it's a fluke. They were pinned at midcourt. Ballinger was guarding Williams.
Well,
Billy.
Great timeout by Tom Izzo to set up, first of all, how they're going to get the shot, and then to go to the zone, and look at where that shot was from. You'd have to say, what, 30 feet?
I think that's about right.
Yeah, it's about 30 feet. Incredible range, and he buried it.
Cleotis Brown brings him within 8. Mateen says, wait a minute, that was after the horn. Sorry about that, Mr. Cleaves. The basket counts, and it's 35-27 at halftime, Michigan State. Right now, let's go to Greg Gumbel at the NCAA Hall of Champions in Indianapolis for Pennzoil at the half.
All right, Jim, thank you. Coming up on Pennzoil at the half, Clark Kellogg and I will have all the scores and highlights. Bonnie Bernstein scouts out the first and second round tournament sites after this message and a word from your local station. Michigan State is in charge in Chicago. A familiar combo, Mateen Cleave to Mo Peterson, trying to boost the Spartans to a Big Ten title.
Open the box and push the button.
What if you're wrong?
We have no option.
Do you realize?
I am ordering you to push that button, mister.
We cannot do this.
Speak for yourself.
Mercedes-Benz Klein Assistance Center.
Hi, we need some directions.
No problem.
Now the Mercedes C-Class comes with TeleAid, a direct link to help, as well as regular scheduled maintenance and lots of other stress-reducing features.
This week on Dave, don't miss Tom Hanks, Sophia Loren, Shaquille O'Neal, Jesse Ventura, and Julia Roberts. It's so much fun.
You might loosen a suture.
Monday.
Imagine you're an FBI agent undercover in the mob. Now, one mistake, one wrong move, and the next moment could be your last. Falcone, an extraordinary television event, begins April 4th on CBS.
The address is CBS.
This portion of NCAA basketball is brought to you by your local Ford store.
Drop the top, put it in gear, and go. Come on, break out of winter with some brand new wheels. Feel the exhilaration of a Ford Mustang. Now with $500 cash back and low financing, it feels even better. The one, the only, the legend, Ford Mustang. Get $500 cash and low financing at your local Ford store today.
Size 8?
Last pair.
This is from that guy right over there. Can't blame the guy for trying.
The cold-filtered cool of Miller Genuine Draft. Never miss a genuine opportunity.
A 260 horsepower CL Type S from Acura.
CBS Sports presents Pennzoil at the Half, sponsored by Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
From the NCAA Hall of Champions in Indianapolis, welcome to Pennzoil at the half. Our score after 20 minutes of play in Chicago. Michigan State 35-27 over the Fighting Illini. I'm Greg Gumbel along with Clark Kellogg. And Clark, Corey Bradford takes an elbow to the face in the first half, and things change for Illinois in a hurry.
They sure did. Michigan State went on a 20-11 run. They lead by 8 thanks to that three-point shot made by Cleotis Brown to end the half. But you lose a guy like Bradford. He's a three-point threat, and he can get his own shot. Illinois in good shape. They need to establish a little more inside game and try to get the inside-outside game going. All right, Clark, other scores now from key games around the country today. Southeastern Conference Championship game in Atlanta went to Arkansas, 75-67. Mamadou Njai, nice down-court pass to Scott Coleman, 40-39, Auburn lead. This game was tight throughout. Brandon Davis going to drain the three-pointer, tying the game at 50. And then Jay Hurd for Auburn knocks down the three here to give Auburn a 1-point lead.
Arkansas's Teddy Gibson will get the dunk at the other end to bring the Razorbacks to within 1 at 60-59. And then Gibson again with the steal and the layup put Arkansas ahead 65-62. They went on to win it. And we heard Coach Nolan Richardson after the game talk about the Arkansas victory.
How big is this win? I tell you, this is the greatest win I've ever had. No, ever had. You know, the reason is we got all these young puppies, you know, and to bring these guys in 4 days to do what they did, I have never had a team could ever do that, and these guys are babies, so I'm just real proud of it.
Arkansas, 26 points off 16 Auburn turnovers. They're headed for the NCAA tournament with a 75-67 win in the SEC title game. In the Atlantic Coast Conference Championship game, Duke 81-68 over the Maryland Terrapins. Duke's Chris Carrawell, nice drive to the basket here. The Blue Devils are up 5 early in the first half.
They'll push that lead to double digits here. Nice anticipation by Jason Williams. He takes the steal all the way to the rim. Duke 24-13. Then it's Jason Williams again. Nice job here as Carrawell rubs off the Battier screen. The Blue Devils by 6.
Terrence Morris will tip in a miss here to bring Maryland back to within 2 at 27-25. Chris Carrawell began the second half with a three-pointer to give Duke a 5-point lead. Shane Battier followed up with a 3 from the top of the arc. Duke went on to win it, and Coach K talking about Duke now being the team to beat.
We've been a team to beat all the time because we're beatable. So I think this tournament, the NCAA tournament, will be wide open. And so much of who advances will be depending on matchups.
Well, Blue Devils matched up pretty well today. They rolled 81-68. Big 12 Conference Championship game in progress. 7.5 to play in the second half, and Iowa State in charge of this one. Jamal Tinsley's steal turns into a layup at the other end for Cantrell Horton. Iowa State was up early 17-6.
Iowa State did a lot of running up and down. Here, Marcus Fizer with a good catch and finish puts the Cyclones up by 10.
Tinsley running the floor. Nice spin in the lane. Iowa State up 25-13. And Tinsley again with another layup, 27-13.
And then Michael Nurse going to pour a little salt in the wound. Doing it from outside. Nice pass from Fizer. Nurse drains the 3.
Marcus Fizer, 17.6 rebounds. To this point, Iowa State 53, 38, 7.5 to play. Once again, in case you are just tuning in, another look at this week's top 10 teams is presented by Agilent Technologies. LSU, Tennessee, Arizona, Iowa State, and Temple are the second 5. Our top 5, Ohio State, Michigan State, Stanford, Cincinnati, and Duke. And for complete NCAA tournament coverage, go to cbs.sportsline.com. America Online users enter the keyword CBS Sportsline. Well, the ratings that really count are those of the selection committee, and you will be the first to find out if you join us tonight at 6:30 Eastern Time for the live exclusive announcement of the tournament seeds and pairings on the NCAA Basketball Championship Selection Show. And now, Bonnie Bernstein joins us with a look at where this year's first and second rounds of March Madness will unfold.
Well, Greg and Clark, you both know what this is like. We all sit around for weeks trying to figure out where it is that we're going to spend the first couple of weeks of the tournament. Well, since we don't have brackets, we can't do that. But what we do know are what the options are. So let's take a look at the first and second rounds in the Midwest. Minneapolis and Cleveland will be hosting. Salt Lake City and Tucson in the West. Buffalo and Winston-Salem in the East. And in the South, Nashville and Birmingham. Now, if you think we're the only ones speculating, guess again. Coaches and players are in the very same boat. So if the coaches could control destiny, what would their cities of choice be?
I want to be in the tournament. That's the number one thing. Any city's good.
Well, I don't know if being in Florida for 4 years, my thin blood could handle this.
But people back in New York probably think I'm crazy, but Buffalo would be nice to get back to the state of New York again.
Winston-Salem, because my middle daughter graduated from Wake Forest, and it would bring back memories of me going to see her in plays.
Well, I'd probably go to Tucson, because A, the golf courses are great, and B, the weather's great. Or I'd go to the exact opposite, Minneapolis, because I know Khalid would never lose in his hometown.
Regardless of where you go, you've got to win games to advance. It's single elimination, and really you should be thankful to be in the NCAA tournament, and that's the important thing. You've got to win games wherever you play.
Well, I have no control over these things, but I personally am with Coach Calhoun because we like warm weather and golf opportunities on my crew. But Greg, since you're one of the senior sportscasters at CBS, if you've got a little pull, I'd appreciate you helping me out.
Senior? Thank you, Bonnie. Thanks for watching Pennzoil at the half. Jim and Billy will rejoin us from Chicago with the second half of Illinois and Michigan State right after this.
Pennzoil at the half has been sponsored by Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
Hey! He's in the garage.
Hey! If you're going to have a garage, have a garage. And if you're going to use an oil, use an oil. Pennzoil with Pure Base, specially formulated for stop-and-go driving.
Like what I've done with the place? Hey, what does this do? Well, that opens up the roof so I can airlift anything in or out of the garage.
Stop. Go. Pennzoil.
I bequeath my Pizza Hut empire to Teddy.
We're gonna create the ultimate pizza. Let's see some cheese. I want 6 kinds of cheese. Give me the toppings department. More toppings, more. What toppings? Everybody say ultimate.
The new Ultimate Cheese Pizza, loaded with the topping of your choice. 6 kinds of cheese, 50% more of it, and an incredible price. $8.99 medium, large, just $2 more.
But sir, that price. You like your job, money man? Good price, sir. Excellent price.
The Ultimate Cheese Pizza from Pizza Hut. Another one of the best pizzas under one roof.
There are 2 teams going out on the field today, and only one will come back a winner. It's up. It's good. We're at the 17th hole. Coach, you've got to put me in. Here's the putt. This place is rocking. Oh, yeah. So I want you to go out there and do your best. And it's a Cinderella story. Yes!
Sports can teach her how to dream.
I love you guys.
You can help her dream big.
They're killing me.
Hi, I'm Allison Curtin, University of Illinois point guard. Because we're Big Ten, people think Illinois means basketball, but it really means education. We offer our students over 150 majors to choose from and over 4,000 courses. Plus Mosaic, the first browser of the World Wide Web, was developed here at Illinois. We're the University of Illinois, where academics come first. Hello, Dean Riley.
Hello, Allison. Time's the game tonight.
The University of Illinois. Academics first. Oops, a close second.
The Big Ten Championship presented by NASDAQ.
Okay, let's take a look, Jim. I talked about the switching that Illinois was doing early in the ball game, and I thought it was getting him in trouble, and it did in a number of occasions. We're going to see an opportunity here for Granger to lose his man and get a wide open shot. Now let's take a look at it right here. Granger has got a man on him. He's going to go all the way around here, and watch. The switch does not probably take place here. It again will not take place there, and watch how Granger gets a wide open shot. Nobody's on him. Then they realize it. Now they try to switch back. It's too late. He's got the shot, and I really don't think that Michigan State took advantage of that as much as they can if you're going to get that kind of switching.
Michigan State leads by 8, and CBS Sports coverage of NCAA men's basketball will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
Stop assuming that just because you're hugging one of these, you can't have a car that was made for hugging these. Oldsmobile Alero with the road-hugging active response system. Alero by Oldsmobile.
As a national leader in study abroad, we offer our students quite a choice. 140 academic programs in more than 50 countries. But no matter which one they choose, no matter where on earth they decide to go, they find, as do the people who ultimately hire them, that it's an extraordinary investment of time.
Now you can watch all the games of the first 3 rounds in their entirety as DirecTV supplements CBS's coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship.
The address is CBS. Make yourself at home for Everybody Loves Raymond.
Ford Focus is one of Car and Driver's 10 best. Automobile of the Year.
And Hudson takes it away from Chukadebe. Third game in 3 days for both sides.
Yeah, I think from a standpoint of physical conditioning, neither team had an advantage. The games and the competition they played against to get here, about even. You know, it's interesting. The team Cleves did not know till yesterday that they were not the #1 seed. He just assumed that they were, and Ohio State was actually the #1 seed in the tournament. 2 years ago, Michigan State was the #1 seed. They got knocked out in the first round.
4 Michigan State players in double figures, leading them to a 16-point advantage.
What do you want the internet to be?
Come together!
Nortel Networks.
If you've been thinking about jumping into a rugged new Montana,
I need more room!
now's a really good time.
Never seen a minivan do that before.
Maybe it's not really a minivan. Life was more exciting in Montana. Now jump into a rugged Montana with its limited time offer. But get a move on because the train's leaving the station.
Good evening, folks.
Hold the door, hold the door. Hey, hold that elevator. Hold it. One more. Whoa. Hey, open the door. Let me get that, please. People, somebody press the button. Frank, come on, I can see you in there. Please open the door. Hey. Come on, we're reasonable people here. Hey, look. Oh, that's my Bud Light.
Hit it, Frank.
Whoa.
With a great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
I can't shake them.
Is this going on?
Make it a Bud Light.
I want it to be larger than life. What do you want the internet to be?
Come together.
Nortel Networks.
Bill Kelly just rewrote his will. To his wife, he'll leave 2 homes and his investment portfolio. He'll leave other assets to his children. All his beneficiaries are here. All except the IRS, who could get 2/3 of everything. See how we earn it. Solomon Smith Barney.
Look at the second half field goal percentages. Illinois under 30% in the half.
Well, they just, you know, with Bradford out of there, and although he's been back out on the floor, it's not the same intensity that Illinois had when they had a chance to make a game of this. It's been all Michigan State.
NCAA basketball selection show coming up at 6:30 Eastern time. First thing you'll want to see, who will be the 1 seeds? Will Cincinnati hold up as a 1? Well, we get 2 out of the Pac-10, Arizona and Stanford. I could see that happening too.
Jim, how about the postseason conference tournaments? Some that went kind of true to form. You get the Connecticut-St. John's matchup, which is, you know, reasonable. You have the matchup here between 2 top teams in the Big Ten. The ACC, Maryland and Duke, the 2 top teams there. Then you had some conferences that just went crazy in the postseason.
Like the SEC.
Well, the Big 12 was one that went kind of true to form. 2 of their better teams getting to the top of the SEC and Conference USA were just crazy.
3-pointer by Harrington. We had 4 cases this year where a 9 seed in a conference tournament beat a 1. That included action here where Penn State beat the 1 Ohio State. St. Louis over Cincinnati, Miami of Ohio over Bowling Green, and Syracuse over, or Georgetown over Syracuse. Let's take a look at the CBS Sportsline stat of the game and its overall field goal percentages. Michigan State up over 50%. Illinois at 32%. For complete game stats, go to cbs.sportsline.com. Of course, this is a Michigan State team that held Wisconsin yesterday to a season low 30%. You mentioned that earlier.
Right.
And now they got Illinois at 32% today.
Jim, another thing that's kind of strange, you know, you always talk about during your NFL Today period, you talk about, can a team beat somebody 3 times in a given year? You're normally thinking about the dominant team beating the other guy, and if you're the underdog in that 3rd game, maybe you can pull it out. How about the Tulsa-Fresno State situation? Tulsa was the dominant team, but you know what? Fresno State, the underdog, beat them all 3 times. How often have you seen that?
That's a rarity.
Really strange.
And Fresno State, you had them on the bubble, but what do you think? In, out?
I don't know. It's pretty tough to not give them a shot at it when they beat a team like Tulsa that's had such an outstanding year 3 times and won their conference tournament. The trouble is the conference tournament doesn't have the automatic pick.
I still think they'll respect that, the fact that they won that conference tournament, and given the performance over Tulsa this year, Jerry Tarkanian back in the tournament, that'll be something.
Courtney Alexander, the young man that transferred from Virginia out there, having a sensational season.
Timeout called by Illinois.
They created their microprocessor in 1971, and the faster their chips have performed, the faster their company has grown. Today, the Intel design is the brains behind the majority of the world's PCs. By the 21st century, their chip could execute 2 billion instructions in 1 second. Where do you learn about such fast-thinking companies? Exactly. NASDAQ, stock market for the digital world.
We're back in Chicago.
You know what we need, Jim, in the NCAA tournament? Dick Clark. You know, to do the countdown. What do you think?
Drop the ball.
Yeah, the ball comes down. Dick Clark does it. Maybe you could, you know, take his spot there. What do you think?
It's on another network, by the way.
Oh, it is? I didn't realize what I was watching, but...
he is on our air, I believe, with a, you know, winning lines. You know that. 65-50, Michigan State. It does kind of have a similar tone to it, though, doesn't it?
Michigan State staying in that zone the rest of the way, making Illinois try to do it from outside. Great to see Bradford hit one.
Brings it within 12 with 6:10 remaining in the game.
That shows you what kind of guts he has. The nose is too swollen to x-ray, and he's out here hitting 3-point shots.
Double team on Cleaves.
Lon Kruger realizing he's got to make something happen on the defense. Hudson wide open inside. Nobody will give him the ball. Little 1-4 set. Does he hit another 3?
Ooh, almost.
Oh, he wanted to hit that one with McClain right down his face to give him a little talk.
Illinois on a 10-2 run. 3, and look out. Short for Johnson.
Hard to come back, though, Jim, when you're going to take shots like that. Oh, smart play by Bell.
Right over Harrington.
Oh, what a nice play. And then he was called with a charge. And you know who drew the charge? Bradford. With that nose to step in there and draw the charge. Now watch what Bell does. He flips the ball right over Harrington. Harrington said, where are you going with it? Then goes and picks it up, has the right to dribble it. It's a legal play. He can go dribble, and then all of a sudden, Bradford's waiting on him. He can fix up the charge.
Talk about guts. Here's a guy possibly with a broken nose standing in there and taking the draw charge. Third on Bell.
Still 12 points here. Time winding down.
Here he is, Bradford, short. They've had 2 chances at threes to get it under 10. Both misfires. Tonight on 60 Minutes, Timothy McVeigh, the man convicted of the Oklahoma City bombing that killed 168 people, and also Trevor Reese-Jones, the bodyguard who survived the crash that killed Princess Diana. We'll talk for the first time to Ed Bradley and Mike Wallace on 60 Minutes tonight. Cook comes back. Chukadebe to the bench.
But Jim, I look back at this game, and I'm sure Lon Kruger, when he goes and watches tapes of it, one of the things that Illinois did not do in this game, if you're going to beat a Michigan State, they did not go to where they would have the advantage. And that, in my estimation, was going down to the low post early in the game, establishing a low post game, and then starting to work on the outside shots. You remember the first part of this game, guys were coming down, taking quick shots, relying on the perimeter game, and Michigan State just too tough for them out there.
We apologize for that momentary lapse in coverage with our signal, but we're all back here in Chicago. Brian Cook had 18 in each of the last 2 games for Illinois. Billy only 5 points so far today.
Well, he hasn't had many touches, Jim. Wow. He hasn't had 18 touches today, much less 18 points.
We're taking 4 shots, and while we continue to power back up here in Chicago, we'll keep you apprised of the score.
Down to 10 seconds again. They go 1-4. I'll tell you what, McClain really did a great job there. What Cleese has been doing is trying to freeze him. McClain looks over at him and takes the jump shot. That time McClain anticipated the drive and moved his feet beautifully.
You know what it's like banging bodies with Cleves? Just ask Eduardo Najera.
Oh, boy.
Last year's tournament.
We don't need any more of those.
Oh, boy. That was some sight right in front of us.
Najera having his career high yesterday. Oklahoma will be a tough out in this tournament. Matter of fact, I think all of the Big 12 will be some tough outs.
All right, we're back all the way. Johnson comes up short on the bank shot. 4 minutes to go. Illinois has had some chances now with the number at 12, but unable to inch closer.
Well, pretty soon the clock becomes their opponent as well. McClain is giving Cleves trouble and loving it.
Bell in traffic.
McClain comes in there, and not only was guarding Cleves, came over to help out. He is some competitor.
Let's see if this trip, the Illini can walk, cut it under 10. No, spins in and out for Bradford. And a foul on Illinois.
McClain sticking his nose in there again, trying to come up with the steal. You know, it really kind of surprised me, Jim. Michigan State had a rested starting lineup that they brought back into the game at the 7-minute mark, and they really have not functioned very well.
Timeout on the floor. State by 12.
If you've been thinking about jumping into a rugged new Montana,
I need more room!
now's a really good time.
Never seen a minivan do that before.
Maybe it's not really a minivan.
Life was more exciting in Montana. Now jump into a rugged Montana with this limited time offer. But get a move on because the train's leaving the station.
It is more than a trial by fire. It is a rite of passage. And if you can master your fear, outsmart your enemy, and never yield even to yourself, you will be changed forever. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Look out. There's a new faucet in town. Introducing the new pull-out spray from Delta with a radical new design, combining beauty, practicality, and just a touch of attitude. Delta, the faucet.
The man convicted of the Oklahoma City bombing and the bodyguard who survived the crash that killed Princess Diana. Tonight on 60 Minutes.
CBS Sports coverage of the road to the Final Four is sponsored by the Delta Faucet Company. Delta, the faucet. The United States Marine Corps, the change is forever. And by the rugged Montana from Pontiac, proud sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team.
65-53. We've been stuck on that score for a couple of minutes here. Jim Nance, Billy Packer, Selection Sunday on CBS. Got to figure 6 teams coming out of the Big Ten.
I would think so, Jim, but right now, well, you have a lot of coaching taking place in this game, as crazy as that may sound. Because if you're Tom Izzo, you've got to get your guys to refocus back in here. And you're Lon Kruger on the other side. And unless something happens dramatically, your club's not going to win this game. But you got to start now coaching towards the next basketball game. Johnson almost picked that one off. Kind of a weak pass.
Cleves, who came back for his senior year to claim the unfinished business of a year ago, Final Four, but no national championship. Granger, three-pointer, bouncing around, picked up by Bell. He'll reset.
Boy, Bell's an outstanding rebounder guard. And Granger's the kind of guy you get caught in mismatches because he'll step out and then the guard fills in behind him.
Bell gives him about 5 rebounds a game.
Yep.
Bubble trouble. These are some of the teams right now that are feeling quite uneasy as we approach the announcement.
Hey, I was wrong in that Notre Dame one, too. The loss was Providence and Pitt, not BC. But in either case, those are the kind of losses that are hard to come by. You beat Connecticut twice, lose to Providence and Pitt. And if they had those 2 in the bag, they wouldn't be on any bubble at all.
Once they had that early season win at Ohio State.
Right. Can't take this much time, Frankie. Isn't it amazing how Johnson has become the man? Remember Archibald last year who played so well in the tournament, getting very little playing time.
Williams spins out. Cook. Yes.
Oh, that's got to be the key for Illinois. Get Cook and get the ball in his hands.
Scoring at last, and within 10, the Illini with 2:20.
Clock becomes their biggest opponent, though. You've got 2 guards like Cleves and Bell out there. A lot of experience on the floor with Peterson and Hudson and Granger. Be hard in 2 minutes' time to make it up.
That Cook basket, the first points in the game on either side. 4 minutes on the game clock. Illinois had a lot of chances to work it under 10. Bell answers at the other end.
That's his favorite shot. 2 dribbles. The little gliding jumper down on the baseline.
Ends a stretch of 7 consecutive misses by Michigan State.
And here's why it is so valuable now. If you remember that Tom Izzo had these 4 starters on that bench for a nice spell. They're totally rested here and ready for the stretch.
Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes. Followed by Touched by an Angel. And then the world television premiere of Going Home. Academy Award winner Jason Robards stars. Big night tonight on CBS. Getting with 60 Minutes right after the NCAA selection show. Lucas Johnson, only a sophomore. To mention Robert Archibald earlier, hasn't entered the game here today. He did get a number of starts this year, and Coach Kruger was saying he's had a year where his playing time has been curtailed a great deal by sickness. The flu, one time food poisoning.
It just throws you behind in the practices, and when you get behind and as deep as this team is, you just don't get an opportunity for playing minutes.
Gets the second. Minute 43 to go.
Good job by Hudson to come back and meet the ball. Cleves keeps the dribble alive, then has to call the timeout.
Watch out here. Johnson shoves Cleves. The arms were tangled, and Cleves accidentally had an elbow.
I think he's throwing him out of the game. I think he's throwing him out of the game now. They won't declare this a fight. Just think of that, Jim.
They had to
you
miss
declared
your
a
first
fight,
game
you
in the
missed your...
NCAAs.
Absolutely. They're taking Cleves is going to be thrown out of the game as Johnson. I don't like that move at all by the officials because one official had this completely under control.
Watch down.
Yeah, you'll
arms
see it
will
right
get tangled here.
Right. And then Cleves says, just, hey, come on, get away from me a second. Johnson comes back at him a little bit, but the official is under control. He has him calm down. The official comes from across the court to make this call. You see right here, steps right in, gets it all under control. There's nothing more going on. And now Cleve's going to find out from the official across the floor that he's throwing them both out. But they got it is not a fight. It can't be thought of being a fight.
Could be a double technical. They summon the three officials, Hillary, Rucker, and Hightower.
And Tom Izzo saying, why did we have to do that? And Tom goes right into that huddle, challenging everybody.
Did you see any grounds there for dismissal?
No, I really did not. I think that the official that was right on top of the play had no intention of doing that. Double T, and nothing's going to happen. There'll be no free throws. It's a dead ball, double T.
Yep,
and Michigan State will get that ball right back. So
no one's thrown out. Double technical.
Yeah, Tom is a guy that definitely gets your attention when he goes into that huddle.
The selection show, less than an hour to go here on CBS. And what do you think will be the big issue this year when all the brackets are set?
I think first thing we've got to say, Jim, and I think you and I, since we've been doing this for a number of years, the most difficult by far selection process that there's ever been. And the only thing I'm looking for is consistency. And the consistency being that if a Cincinnati is not a #1 seed, then that means that you took in consideration not having a player. If an Arizona turns out to be a #1 seed, where did anybody have information that Lauren Woods is going to play? I think that's what you always look for. So nobody gets thrown out of the ball game. They just call it a double technical, which I think was a very wise thing to do. No shots are taken, nobody thrown out, no fight. And a good piece of officiating as they got together there.
And Johnson fouls. Peterson putting him on the line. And one thing is, Michigan State is, in fact, as many expect, the 1 seed in the Midwest. That is a Thursday-Saturday combination, which means after playing 3 straight, you're back playing here in 4 days for the big tournament. That's enough time to rest up.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, there's no formula that guarantees you a championship or even a Final Four appearance. So it just get yourself ready to play. Matter of fact, we've seen teams, Jim, that were playing horribly the last part of the season. I always go back to Villanova. They won a national championship. People said you can't win a national championship unless you play hard-nosed man-to-man. They played zone all the time. They won one. And they were playing horribly the last week of the season. Got knocked out of the Big East tournament right away. Didn't even think they were going to get in the NCAA. And 6 games later, they're the champs.
Minute 25 remaining in this one. For Michigan State is crowned the Big Ten tournament champions for a second year.
Tom Izzo getting a little lesson here. Does his ball club have the ability to work against the press? Now, what I think they ought to do is throw over the top of everything. Illinois trying to play just on this half court. If somebody breaks long, they'll get an easy basket.
Williams gets it to 10.
See, and they get a timeout. Now, Jim, watch where they deploy the defense when we come back out here. Almost everybody will be inside 20 feet. Michigan State can break a man wall. 56 minutes away from Selection Show Sunday. Everybody get their brackets ready. There always are some surprises.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'll be ready. 10-point lead here. And let's see what Tom Izzo has in mind for his club. Breaks guys here, see if he sends somebody long.
Timeout call by Hudson. Ran the baseline, still couldn't find an opening.
They have got to throw over the top and go down the other end.
We'll take a timeout with them. 10-point advantage for State.
If you've been thinking about jumping into a rugged new Montana,
I need more room!
now's a really good time.
Never seen a minivan do that before.
Maybe it's not really a minivan.
Life was more exciting in Montana. Now jump into a rugged Montana with this limited time offer. But get a move on because the train's leaving the station.
We're back in Chicago, and Billy, one last chance for you to tell us the 4 number 1
No,
seeds.
come on. No.
You can do it.
I can't do that. I can't get up with Jim. You're the bracket meister.
I'm wavering on Cincinnati.
Yeah,
I've
you've
been doing that all
day
weekend.
long.
I think it's going to be the 2 from the Pac-10. Stanford, Arizona, Michigan State, and Duke.
I have never seen you in a situation beyond January the 15th where you weren't sure as to who were going to be the number 1 seed.
Can't sleep.
And again, nobody goes long. Illinois had 5 guys down here doing a great job. Look at that. Lon Kruger never given up. Izzo cannot believe it. They had 3 attempts to get the ball over half court and couldn't do it. They have got to throw the ball long.
Bradford, this could get it to 7. Granger boxed out with a rebound.
Now, it is so tough when the other team doesn't care whether they foul. They don't care whether they give up the easy basket. They know you're trying to run out the clock, so they're coming after you.
First personal, 10.
The executive producer of CBS Sports is Terry Ewert. Coordinating producer of NCAA basketball is Bob Dekas. Today's game directed by Bob Fishman. Pennzoil at the half, produced by Eric Mann and directed by Kathy Barretto. The associate directors of today's game, Ken Mack, Bob Vasilopoulos. Broadcast associates Fred Johnson, Jonathan Siegel. And the technical manager of today's game, Rick Godwin. Technical director Scott Sickler, Pat McGrath on stats.
Jim, let me ask you a question. What if Ohio State were in the position right now that Michigan State's in, having a chance to win the Big Ten championship? Would they have been a number 1?
You know, they could have been 2 1s out of here, and they made it to this point.
So you think that they go from
1
losing
to a 2
game?
Absolutely, losing in the first round. I think they'll be the 2 in the West. That's my guess.
So what you're saying is if Ohio State had come through these 3 days with the Big Ten tournament championship.
Oh, if they won the championship, they definitely would have been a 1.
They would have been the 1.
I think they may have.
And Michigan State would have gone to a 2?
I think they both could have possibly been 1. Wow. I think it was very possible. You're talking about teams, Billy, that were ranked 4 or 5 in the country coming into the week.
I think that I caught you in a trap where you have about 6 different number 1s. You have, You're giving me the Stanford, Arizona scenario, the Temple scenario, the Duke scenario, the Michigan State, Ohio State scenario, the Cincinnati scenario. I'm at 8.
No, wait a minute. You asked me had Ohio State hypothesizing here made it to Sunday. They didn't. Had they? Yeah, it could have been different. Williams scores on the drive.
There they go. Long, and they'll have something. They have a layup.
Cleaves to Granger, and 1.
First time that they took advantage. Now, you can't guard the whole court. And what Illinois was doing is guarding about 1/3 of the court, leaving 2/3 wide open. Michigan State finally saw it and went long and got an easy layup. You see where you have 1 defender against 2 offensive players. On the other end of the floor, you had 4 defenders. Well, 2 years in a row, Michigan State wins the Big Ten tournament championship, Jim.
Are you saying it's over already? Watch out, folks. Here comes the big Illinois rally.
Those people. The only team I want to make sure I don't broadcast this year is UCLA in this tournament.
You're afraid to face it?
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's really got me losing sleep.
Final 25 seconds. Harrington, jumper, back to the rim.
Granger got a little piece.
Mast gives it up. Johnson, he'll take it from the corner.
And Cleves does the right thing, as does Illinois. They drop back and realize this game is over.
He's a senior. Let the ball end up in his hands here. Mateen Cleves. There's only one thing in front of him now. It's a run through the NCAA tournament. That's what he came back for. But his Spartans have once again claimed the Big Ten tournament championship. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Leotis Brown from Illinois and Andre Hudson of Michigan State. Chevrolet will make a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need.
Tony, I love you, boy. Hey, what's up, baby? Represent F-Line. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, you know, I'm trying to get into it. Good stuff.
The Payne-Weber CBS Sports Desk is next with Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg. Jim Nance and Billy Packer saying so long for now from Chicago, where Michigan State has won the Big Ten championship. Selection Sunday continues on CBS in a moment.
Mom, Dad, the 37-year-old that lives at home should pay rent.
It's great, Mark.
But I want airline miles or points.
I don't understand.
My rent would earn me airline miles, and with points I could upgrade to, like, grandma's room.
Like a rewards program.
Whatever.
Yeah, what does this look like, a Holiday Inn?
More ways to collect and redeem points than any other hotel program. That's today's Holiday Inn.
Our need to communicate, to learn, to be in touch has spawned products of genius. Today, Microsoft continues this progression, creating tools that empower, tools that multiply our possibilities, taking us to places we've never been, where discovery and achievement transcend anything we have known. Where do you find companies fostering growth on so many levels? Exactly. NASDAQ, stock market for the digital world.
Pair a day will keep the upset away. Hey, trust me, I got plenty of them.
She's a beauty, isn't she?
Yeah, she sure is. Do you mind if I take a closer look?
Be my guest.
You got anything in a two-door?
Can't do it in life? Do it on the web with the power of the Pentium 3 processor. And find out about a unique service for Pentium 3 processor owners at Intel.com.
This is the Payne-Weber CBS Sports Desk.
Hi once again, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel along with Clark Kellogg. Welcome to the Payne-Weber CBS Sports Desk, coming to you on this Selection Sunday from the new NCAA Hall of Champions here in Indianapolis, Indiana. This reminder, coming up at 6:30 Eastern Time here on CBS, the live exclusive announcement of the tournament seeds and pairings on the NCAA Basketball Championship Selection Show. We have just seen the Michigan State Spartans claim the Big Ten Tournament Championship. Let's take you back out to the United Center and rejoin Jim Nance and Billy Packer.
All right, thank you very much, Greg. Here with the Big Ten champions, Morris Peterson, Mateen Cleves, Coach Tom Izzo. Congratulations, the champions again. How does that sound?
Well, it sounds great, and these guys did all the work. They've had a heck of a career. I hope they got a little left in them right now.
Well, there is a little more action ahead, but Mateen, how sweet is it for you to come back this year and win a Big Ten title?
Oh, it feels great. You know, a lot of people really didn't understand why I came back. Now they can see why. You know, I'm on schedule to get my degree, and I won a couple more championships, so I really feel good right now.
Morris, I want to go back to one play in this game, and there was a play in which Mateen threw the lob to you that you put it away. How often have you guys been playing together so there was just almost a feel? That wasn't diagrammed. How do you get that feel for a play like that?
Well, Mateen and I have been playing together for like 10 years, and it's kind of being second nature to us. He's always there to throw good passes. He does a good job running the team, and it's just second nature to us.
How often have you seen him get thrown out of a game for fighting because of misconduct? I mean, does that happen on the playgrounds, any?
No, it's a little rougher when we're back in Flint.
Hey, guys, was there any talk at all before the game that you had to win this one to lock up a #1 seed? Did you believe that?
Well, really, we wanted to. We didn't really talk about it. We just wanted to go out and take care of our business and let the voters, however they, voted, whatever, let that take care of itself. But we didn't talk about it too much. We wanted to come out and win a Big Ten tournament championship.
Coach, I see you're shaking your head no.
Well, no, I'm saying I agree with him. I mean, we really didn't make a big deal about the #1 seed. There's a lot of teams deserving of it. I think we're one that should be considered, but with 7 losses, I can understand it either way, and we got to beat a lot of good teams to advance anyway, so what's the difference?
Hey, the coach says he's going to leave it up to you guys whether or not you want to tear down the nets here. What's the decision?
We're going to tear them down.
This is Chicago, huh?
Hey, congratulations, guys.
Nice.
All the best in the NCAA tournament coming up. Let's go back to Greg and Clark in Indianapolis.
All right, Jim, thank you. So the Michigan State Spartans, 76-61. They win by 15. A year ago, they beat Illinois by 17. They pretty much have the Illini's number. This is a team that was on a roll as the season came to a close.
Exactly, and Michigan State is on the roll. Regardless of what their seed is in this upcoming tournament, they will certainly be one of the top favorites to win it all come April 3rd.
All right, Clark, now, elsewhere around the country today, Big 12 Conference Championship went to the Iowa State Cyclones. 70-58 was the final score. Cyclones, hiya, honey, let's watch some basketball. Jamal Tinsley's steal turns into a layup at the other end for Kentrail Horton. Had kept Iowa State up early, and you like Marcus.
I really do. The big fella does everything. Running the floor here, nice catch, and the throwdown, Iowa State by 11.
Jamal Tinsley running the floor. Watch the nice spin in the lane. Keep Iowa State up 25-13.
Well, from those highlights, it looks like Iowa State's doing it all in the paint, but no. Michael Nurse going to step outside behind the three-point line, give the Cyclones an 18-point lead.
And then Pfizer continued his terrific day for Iowa State. He had 22 points, 9 rebounds. The Cyclones win it. Going away 70-58 was the final score. And, Iowa State may be the best team in the country that people haven't heard a lot about.
And Marcus Pfizer clearly a candidate for Player of the Year, not only in his conference, which he won, but certainly across the country. He's a tremendous player, and they're a team that's going to be very dangerous.
All right, Clark, in the Southeastern Conference Championship in Atlanta today, how about those Razorbacks? 75-67 over the Auburn Tigers. Nolan Richardson just rolled his club in and took charge. Mamadou Ndiaye finds Scott Pullman streaking down court. Easy hoop, 40-39 Auburn lead.
This game was close throughout. Here we're going to see Brandon Davis from Arkansas knock down the 3 to tie the game at 50.
And then how about Teddy Gibson?
Off the steal, they forced a bunch of turnovers. 2 points off of one right there to give the Hogs the lead.
That guy Gibson going to steal and lay it up to put Arkansas ahead 65-62. Nolan Richard talking about the win.
This is an A+ season for these kids. And again, all I've asked them to do all year is to improve. And each kid that's improving is going to make us a better basketball team. So we're not going to think about the NCAA. All we're going to continue to think about is improving, Dick, because they're so young.
Nolan Richardson's club taking advantage of 16 turnovers by Auburn. Good for 26 points. This is clearly an Arkansas team that's getting better.
Well, Nolan talks about how young they are. They're talented, and their confidence is growing. They'll be a tough out.
All right, speaking of a tough out, how about the Duke Blue Devils? In Charlotte today, the ACC championship game, the Blue Devils rolled 81-68. Duke's Chris Carrawell, nice drive to the basket here to put the Blue Devils up by 5 in the first half.
And then Jason Williams going to stretch the Blue Devils lead to 11. Anticipating the pass on the inbounds, he'll take it himself and finish 24-13 Blue Devils. And Jason Williams showing you his ability to find the open guy. Carrawell off a screen from Battier. Duke continues to roll. But then it's Terrence Morris helping the Terps get back in it on the follow of the Baxter miss. Terps only down 4 at that point.
Second half, Carrawell started things off with a 3-pointer, giving Duke a 45-40 lead, and then Shane Battier will follow up with 3 of his own from the top of the arc. Duke went on to win it. Coach K says, hey, we're the ones to beat.
We've been a team to beat
all the time because we're beatable. So I think this tournament, the NCAA tournament, will be wide open. And so much of who advances will be depending on matchups.
So Duke a winner, 81-68. Clark, we talked earlier today about a program that lost 4 very good players last year. I don't know if anyone expected Duke to be this good this time of year.
Well, they've got good talent, but they've also got great leadership at the top. If I had a vote for Coach of the Year, Coach K would get it.
All right, everybody's sitting around wondering whether or not they're going to make the NCAA tournament or not. Among that group, Missouri head coach Quinn Snyder. Speaking of the Duke Blue Devils, we'll take a time out here and come back and talk with the Missouri Tigers coach right after this.
A little stress? Bet us online investors aren't helping your blood pressure.
Online? I'm on Wall Street, a professional.
My online broker lets me see stock quotes the same way they see them at the exchange.
You do not see them continuously, not as the market's moving.
Actually, I do. Say ah.
Ah.
That's why Daytech calls it Streamer.
Streamer?
Daytech Online. The rules are changing.
Check that out, the pink fairway woods.
You young guys, you've got it easy.
Grandpa?
You think we had clubs with a lower center of gravity?
Gramps, I can't really hear what they're
You
saying.
think we had custom-fit lie angles? No, we had a hunk of metal on a stick. That's what we had.
Yeah, hunk of metal stick, right.
I've got more scars than a prize fighter.
Right.
And that just on the outside.
Custom fit pink fairway woods, distance plus accuracy. A golf ball's dream.
If I had one of those, I would be in a trophy case somewhere.
Whatever.
Enterprise? You rented our car from Enterprise?
Yeah.
Why Enterprise?
Because they pick us up. Free.
A free pickup? Wow, they ought to be #1.
They are #1.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up. Call it a bonanza, an extravaganza. It's how you save on tires. Now at Pep Boys, all 35,000-mile tires are 4 for only $99, and all 70,000-mile tires 4 for $169. Pep Boys.
Cars like us.
People love us.
Oh, hey, easy, boys, easy. Whoa.
Excuse me.
Hey, is that a collect call?
Who are you?
I'm the 1-800-COLLECT advice guy. Use 1-800-COLLECT and save the people you call $1 or $2. 1-800. How about a C? O-L-L. E-T. Can't spell collect without a T. Thanks. Use 1-800-COLLECT. Save $1 or $2.
Does this look like a familiar scene? The Michigan State Spartans did it last year. Darn it, they aren't doing it again this year. Mateen Cleaves and teammates cutting down the nets as the Michigan State Spartans claim the Big Ten championship. We remind you March Madness gets underway officially with first-round action this Thursday and Friday. Our exclusive CBS Sports coverage begins at noon Eastern Time, with the games tipping at approximately 12:15. And our Thursday and Friday night primetime coverage gets underway at 7:30 Eastern Time right here on CBS, the official home of the NCAA Basketball Championship Tournament. Well, lots of people sitting there wondering whether or not they're going to make it into the tournament or not. One of those, the Missouri Tigers, and their first-year head coach Quinn Snyder joins us now from his home in Columbia. Coach, this is something that you're not used to at all. You're used to being just there as a member of the Duke Blue Devils.
Yeah, I had a chance to watch Duke play this afternoon after we got back from Kansas City, and it was a little different last year, wondering where we were going to go as opposed to if you were going to go.
You're 18-12 this year, but you lost in the quarterfinals of the Big 12 tournament. Why do you think the Tigers belong in the tournament?
Well, you know, I'm maybe not the best one to make our case, but I feel like we've played a good schedule. We play in a tough league. We've been competitive all year long. I think after the selection show, we may be a team that has only lost to teams that are in the tournament. Although we have 12 losses, I think they're to good clubs, and I'm just hopeful our guys get an opportunity.
Quinn, looking ahead for people that haven't seen your team play, talk a little bit about your team style, and then also the adjustments you've had to make from being an assistant coach to being a head coach.
Well, lots of those, Clark. I know, you know, as well prepared as Coach K, or as much as he prepared me for this opportunity, I don't think that there was any way to fully anticipate all the challenges of being a head coach. A lot of the, I think, psychological and emotional demands of the job. But so I'm learning on the run. I'm lucky I've got a good group of players to help me go, and particularly on the perimeter. I think Keon Dooling is the leader of our team, and just an explosive lead guard, our point guard, can do a lot of things on the floor, and we've got a couple other guys in the perimeter right now that can put some points up. Clarence Gilbert, very explosive, as well as Kareem Rush, who has done a great job for a freshman. So we come at you from the perimeter, we shoot the three, try to get after you a little bit defensively, and figure out ways to win games.
All right, Quinn, I know we will have your attention at 6:30 Eastern Time. We wish you and the Missouri Tigers luck.
Thanks very much.
You bet. Quinn Snyder, the head coach of the Missouri Tigers. We'll take a time out and come back with more right after this.
I'm serious. Whenever guys find out I have a cat, they freak.
You kidding me? I love cats.
Of course, my cat's not like other cats.
Well, sure he isn't.
He gets so jealous if anyone drinks my Bud Light. Oh, anyway, I'll go get changed.
You're right. Stupid cats.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
Oh, look at you, too.
Make it a Bud Light.
Faster, more reliable, higher quality, more profitable. Nortown Networks is building the new high-performance internet, and it can be whatever you want it to be. So tell us, what do you want the internet to be?
Come together right now over me. Hey!
He's in the garage.
Hey!
If you're going to have a garage, have a garage. And if you're going to use an oil, use an oil. Pennzoil with Pure Base, specially formulated for stop-and-go driving.
Like what I've done with the place? Hey, what does this do?
Well, that opens up the roof so I can airlift anything in or out of the garage.
Stop. Go. Pennzoil.
I see a little silhouette of a can.
Mountain Dew, time to do the slam dunk go. Citrus taste and quenching, very, very exciting me. Fantastico, 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 Figaro. Here we go.
This is the Payne-Weber CBS Sports Desk.
Welcome back, everyone. There's a reason why Clark Kellogg is here with us. The man knows his stuff. Here's Clark with a few unheralded stars he says are worth keeping an eye on as the madness unfolds.
Now here are some players who may step up their games in the tournament and step into the national spotlight. Juan Dixon has become Maryland's go-to guy and the #2 scorer in the ACC. Marcus Fizer of Iowa State is the Big 12's leading scorer. Fizer's stock appears to be rising and right on time. Three-point specialist Dan Lange of Vandy was just named the SEC Player of the Year. And as for LSU sophomore Stromile Swift, his last name says it all. Who will have his day in the Dome? Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for what? Isn't that list complete?
Not quite. I might have to add some more between now and Thursday.
Yeah, right. Well, coming up at 6:30, be sure to join us for the moment we've been waiting for, the live exclusive announcement of the tournament seeds and pairings on the NCAA Basketball Championship Selection Show. And then first round action gets underway this Thursday and Friday. Our coverage begins at noon Eastern Time with the games tipping at about 12:15. Our Thursday night, Friday night primetime coverage gets underway at 7:30 Eastern. Until then, I'm Greg Gumbel for Clark Kellogg. We'll see you back here at 6:30.
Before you do this or this or this, you want to have this and this and this.
You'd be surprised how much of our technology goes into your day.
So for this or this or this.
We're Siemens.
We can do that.
There's the pass to Leitner. Puts it up.
The madness is coming to CBS.
For the King of Queens.
The address is CBS.
Break out!
drop the top, put it in gear, and go. Come on, break out of winter with some brand new wheels. Break out! Feel the exhilaration of a Ford Mustang. Now with $500 cash back and low financing, it feels even better. The one, the only, the legend, Ford Mustang. Get $500 cash and low financing at your local Ford store today.
It's a great name. It's beansnow.com. You type in beansnow.com. We're different from other bean sites. It's a website, computers, you click, and the next day beans appear. And we're looking for some venture cap, some seed money. We're just trying to get some cash.
It's not one of those dirty websites, is it?
Oh, no.
The cold filtered cool of Miller Genuine Draft.
I'm starting an internet website, and I'm calling it CaptainBarky.com.
That's my doggish name.
Huh. Never miss a genuine opportunity.
The Land Rover Discovery's advanced technology, smooth ride and stable handling will appeal to the right side of your brain. And its $3.99 a month lease will appeal to the, well, actually, that's the right side too.
If we pick the winners.
Tonight, 11:35 on CBS 2 Chicago.
I'm Eric Gibson, editor of the Devil's Advocate at Piatone High School. Welcome to the Editor's Roundtable. The Democratic and Republican presidential primaries are in full swing with their usual array of slick media ads, public posturing, and personal attacks. What do young voters, many of them choosing our national leader for the first time, think about the current crop of candidates? Are they even paying attention? To get the editor's perspectives on presidential politics, we welcome Adelise Plaza, news editor of the Clemente Journal at Roberto Clemente High School in Chicago. Dimitri Moore, editor-in-chief of K-Scope at Kenwood Academy in Chicago. Maggie Haskins, co-editor of the Parker Weekly at Francis Parker School in Chicago. And Matt Tamman, senior sports editor for the Peace Pipe Chatter at Minooka Community High School. Okay, Maggie, do you feel student voters in your school are aware of the issues of the presidential election? Why or why not?
In general, I'd have to say yes, because I think they're obviously aware of it. I think they've heard it, whether on TV or the radio or just sort of in passing. Whether they're truly interested in a lot of the issues being talked about in this election is sort of another question. And I think that depends on a lot of things. I think a lot of students are interested in these issues, but I don't think they're interested in the sort of the federal and the national election level. I think if they are interested, most students get involved in a more community-based.
Okay. Adelise?
I believe that, yeah, most students in my school are aware of it because of commercials, and actually in the school there were, you know, registration for voting and stuff like that, and I believe they're aware of it, but like she said, it's another thing if they're interested in it, and that's just a whole nother issue.
A lot of teenagers, or young voters as a lot of people call them, especially teenagers, those in high school, I mean, they know it's there. It's the matter of saying, well, are you going to go vote now? And, I mean, a lot of kids are just like, well, you know, I either don't have time or really, I mean, they come home at night and they flip on The Simpsons, not exactly flipping on CNN, seeing, oh, who won the debate or who won the primary or whatever, or what are their stance on, you know, goals and stuff, you know.
Well, I feel that they know that there's like a presidential election coming up, but mainly I think that a lot of interest has been lost, not just in young people, but in people in general, because it's just been a lot about issues. It's been about who stands on this, who stands on that, who won this debate, who won that debate, but it's not exactly, you know, who is going to be president, just who feels what. And it's just about issues that you really see no change over.
Mm-hmm. Well, personally at my school, I don't think many of the people at my high school anyway, are very informed. I mean, they know the candidates. Whether or not they know the issues of the candidates and their, you know, views, that's a different story. But most of them know, you know, the major candidates are in it. Whereas I also attend class at Joliet Junior College, and I have an American government class there. And every day before we start class, we go through and we talk about what's going on in the primaries. My government teacher is really in the know. He watches that all the time, so he knows a lot about it. And so we always get into a full-scale debate, and there you got many of what it's classified as the young voters from 18 to 29. I have probably one of each in my class for everybody, because I got people in there that are 30, so we get into it, and you can really tell who's interested. I mean, we'll have like 6 people really getting heated in the conversation, talking about this issue or this, but outside of that, many I don't think, especially the younger 18, 19-year-olds, really care. Many young voters say they don't have time to pay attention to politics. Is this just an excuse? What do you think, Matt?
The time is, personally, I'm in athletics. I'm in baseball right now, and when I get home at night, I've got to admit, first thing that's on my mind, like I said, isn't exactly, you know, who's on TV doing what debate or having what commercial. First time though, I mean, that's just an excuse, like you said. You could say, well, I had to do this and I didn't want to watch this, but I mean, a lot of kids aren't going to, you know, schedule their time to where, all right, I'm going to do some homework, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to watch CNN, the debate that's going on, or watch, you know, regular Channel 7 news or Channel 2 news or whatever at night and just be like, well, you know.
Well, I feel that, sure, some don't have a lot of time. Like some kids, they get home like 9 or 10 o'clock in the evening from doing a lot of activities, but it's a better thing to say you don't have enough time than to just say flat out that you don't care, because a lot a lot of people don't care because they don't see any, you know, direct change. They don't see it like a direct thing coming on to them. So they just say, you know, oh, I don't have the time. So, you know, they don't say they don't care because it means that they don't, it really doesn't mean anything to them.
I agree with Dimitri. I think it's a general lack of desire because young students, young voters don't necessarily see any correlation. Let's say if they really believe in some issue, they don't necessarily think that their view or their opinion can really affect the larger political campaign.
I agree with both, you know, all of you in some part. I think it's more that it's never really been placed on you, people as a younger generation. I mean, back in the 70s, for example, that was all they, you know, get the soldiers out of Vietnam and that kind of stuff. So I think it's more emphasis was put back then when there was some groundbreaking issues going on where people thought, you know, we've got to put an end to this. Whereas the issues now, everybody's thinking, well, everything's at a standstill. There's not much one person can do with one issue.
Right.
So.
But until the 70s, it was always you had to be 21 to vote. I think ever since they moved it down to 18, I mean, kids and teenagers, especially during the Vietnam, they always wanted to vote, you know, so they could be like, bring down Vietnam, bring our people home, you know, peace, love, happiness, or whatever. But the thing was, ever since they actually brought it down, I mean, people have voted maybe in those first, like, 5-10 years after they brought it down, people voted. But now it's like it's such an every regular day occurrence or, you know, just to say, oh, I'm going to go vote. I mean, it's an important thing for young people to do, but they feel that if you have the whole population and they're only a small percent, they think, well, what difference am I going to make if I don't go vote, or if I feel that this is my stance on abortion, this is my stance on education, you know?
Yeah.
I agree with Eric. Back in the 70s when they had Vietnam and everything, everyone was involved in it. Even though younger students couldn't vote, they were still involved with it. They still had some say in it. Right. Now it's like, you know, there's abortion, there's this, there's that. Everyone has their own opinion about it, but it really doesn't change anything.
Exactly. Like you said earlier, it's more of a standstill. Right. And there's not much that has been done to push it one way or the other. A Media Studies Center poll found that only 15% of young voters follow the election closely, and that most young people get their information from paid political ads and word of mouth. Does that worry you, Adelise? What's your view on that?
Yeah, it does worry me because as far as word of mouth, that's someone else's opinion, and I think that they should do it by viewing the candidates on the shows, viewing them, you know, talk about their issues, because then they form their own opinion. They're not getting their opinion from someone else. And it's like if they're gonna do it from word of mouth and hearing it from ads and stuff like that, they're only gonna elect the person they think, you know, is good because of other people's opinions, not their own. And it does worry me because then we're gonna have someone elected that's, you know, probably not worth anything.
I agree. You really do get a push through that, and I think that goes back to the lack of time excuse, because people don't want to do their own research on the particular candidates. They'd rather, you know, my friend's choosing this, so why don't I just go with this?
See, one of the big things is, like on MTV especially, they have the choose or lose or whatever it's called now, and they go to college campuses. But the thing I think is the MTV age, and it's probably like 12 to like 17, 18, because I mean, going into college, you really don't sit there and watch MTV all the time like you did when you're in high school and, you know, wanting to know about music and stuff like that. I mean, they're trying to help out as many people as possible, but it's kind of like they're helping, but they're not just helping the right, you know, like demographics or stuff as they're called.
Right. Well, one issue that's being brought up is that more of them are being chosen by their looks or by how they present themselves on TV. I think that the reason why that's been coming up a lot is because people are looking for other ways to look at the candidates. Like, they've always been, like, from the Kennedy and Nixon debates and stuff like that, they've always been talking about the issues and everything, but now everyone's trying to look for, like, a fresher view, like a different way to look at them, like, to look at them as actually people.
And I agree with that, and also I think it's because, you know, our society has become so pop culture based. You know, we see little images, little commercials, what's cooler, what's not cooler, and I think, therefore, you know, these ads and these, you know, word of mouth is what students and young voters are hearing. And so, yeah, that does worry me, because you're not doing your own research, you're not really learning about the candidate, because, you know, all of society is being like, well, you should just go from these images and these little...
Yeah, what's the popular
thing
right
exactly.
here? I mean, if voting And if voting was like, you know, the popular thing to do, like if we had candidates run, like if Jesse Ventura ran for president, or like even Warren Beatty or something like that ran for president. I mean, a lot of teenagers, some know Warren Beatty, you know, some don't, but they know he's an actor and he's been in movies. If like an image like that was run, I got a feeling that they might win just because they know him from all this stuff. It's like a lot of popularity, like I said, you know, the, what do I call it, the boy band like effect, where everybody, you know, goes with the popular person and just whatever's in style, you know, is what happens and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. More so with the image factor, like you were talking about with Ventura, how he won Minnesota. It's the image. People want their country or their state to be perceived in a certain way, and if your image is, you know, smart, sophisticated looking guy, or, you know, whatever. Smart, friendly guy. Or,
It's like,
go ahead.
It's like Ronald Reagan, how years ago he was, like, way before he was even thinking about politics, he was an actor and everything. So everyone, like, knew him from that, even though he did win on some, like, issues and stuff. I think it was that popularity. He was already placed in people's minds as a really nice person, as a really good actor.
Some people like Bill Bradley. See, that's why kind of one of the reasons, like the Michael Jordan ad that's been airing recently, that's, you know, I'm Michael Jordan and I feel Bill Bradley should be president and stuff like that. It's another one of those issues where you're just getting a popular celebrity saying, oh, I like this person now. I mean, that'll get him some votes, but it got him a lot more just because Michael Jordan said it. So there's going to be at least some people are going to go, oh, Michael Jordan, you know, Michael Jordan did this, so we got to do it. You know?
Yeah, like you brought up Warren Beatty, if you, like, remember back to Bullworth. One of the issues that were brought up in there is, like, it's all just, like, campaigning and all just finding money, getting money from TV stations, stuff like that, so they can be able to campaign. That's about all it's become now, just who has more money.
It's like a marketing, it's a packaging. I don't know, Robert Redford was in a movie, The Candidate, like a while ago, and basically it was about how this young sort of rookie politician was sort of, you know, taken into the world of, you know, the political, you know, machine, and just how he was packaged as a candidate and his family and who he was. And I think that's become increasingly important, especially after sort of the recent events of our current president, because now we believe that character and family values are big, and I think an overall general packaging of that's a good guy has become more important.
There was many people who were cynical about when Clinton was elected for the second time. Many people, you know, even though he did have the economy up, not as much as he does so now, but many people thought the reason he was elected because supposedly he's a good-looking guy, and you know that really weighs in the female vote supposedly. I mean,
like
I heard that off the...
Like the image, though, the big thing is a lot of people are voting because, not because they like how the person talks or what they talk about. It's what they want other countries or other people, like other people to perceive as. I mean, who would you rather have running some ugly, you know, big guy, like, say like, something like that, than like, say, Bill Clinton, you know, who was a family man, you know.
Like when he went against Bush and Perot, you know, who would you have?
And he was out jogging, and you know, that
energetic life,
you know.
And it all goes back to when media first intervened with TV back in the Kennedy and Nixon debates. I mean, radio-wise, they took a poll. Radio-wise, they were about equal, but with Kennedy's looks and image, that's how he overwhelmingly won. So, let's get on to the issues. Some of the big issues in the campaign are abortion, education, gun control, Social Security, campaign finance reform, a balanced budget, and taxes. Which of these issues are most important to young voters, and why? Why do you think, Dimitri?
Well, I think that, as I was saying before about how the issues, I think, like, abortion and things like gun control are important to kids, but like Social Security and things like that, we're really not into that right now, even though we should be.
It'll affect us down the road. Exactly. People, I mean, that's a big thing about presidency and anything now is not what is it going to do for me down the line. It's going to be